Afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to make a quick video here. A couple of weeks ago, I guess, in one of the Q&As, somebody asked me about other strategies and what I do when I get them and how I kind of weed through the good from the bad. And so I'll talk a bit about that today, and then I'll talk about what the chart that I have up here now is showing. So there's basically, it's a 5-step process, give or take, 4 or 5-step process. I start off real simple. I'll get the strategy and I'll just look at the logic of it, really. It's as basic as that. Does it need 20 indicators, 5 planets to align on a Thursday at noon? If it's so complicated and so, jungled up that if that's the case, then I pass it and just move on. I just don't look at it again. Or on the other side, the flip side, is it just randomly entering? Not interested in that either. So, those are the two things that I'm looking for initially, to just weed them out and just say, I don't even want to bother looking at it. And also, the rules are simple and easy to explain to somebody else. If that's the case, then great, then I'll have a look at it. Number 2, it's simply just setting up, if there's an indicator or whatever it is the strategy is, I'll start scrolling through the charts manually, just scrolling back to see how often the setup occurs and if it's profitable. And I'll look at different time frames and different pairs, of course. So, that takes some time, but usually it's at the end of a day. For me, I'm on the eastern seaboard, so I'm looking at after supper kind of thing until the London market opens. And that's when I'll spend that kind of time just scrolling through charts, looking at stuff. And then as that's about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, depending on how often I do it. And then so if I see something and I start to see that, hey, this thing seems to be making good trades, the entry's good, the risk makes sense, the targets make sense, then yeah, this is great. Then let's move on to step 3. Now, step 3, seldom get to step 3. There's not many strategies that actually get to step 3, because that's where I actually want to watch it in real time. And I'll commit a little bit of one of my monitors to this actual strategy, and I'll put it in the just in a small corner, but it's up there because I actually want to see it as it happens. Now, I'm not trading it, I'm not putting any money at it, but I just want to see it real time. How do the entries happen real time, and just follow it through. And that's today. We've got that today. Day 1 of that started happening today. And if you see the chart, it's the Euro Yen. It's a 5-minute chart, and the red lines, hopefully they're thick enough. Maybe I'll make them a little thicker. The red lines here indicate the entry and the exit. So this is a short that popped up on this candle here, on the open of this candle, and then the exit on the open of this candle. So on a 5-minute chart, that was 15 pips. Not bad. The max you could have got was probably 25, 30. But following the rules as I need to make sure this thing works and is valid. So that's it. So that's 15 pips on a 5-minute chart. Nothing wrong with that. And the risk was fine. You're looking to risk about the same amount in this case. That swing high. So that I like. That's very cool. So that was, now I don't have the indicators up because the guy who sent it to me, I told him, I said, if it gets to part 3, I'll put it on the blog and kind of talk about it. But he asked me not to show the indicators and whatnot. So I said, all right, I won't. That's fair enough. So that's what you're seeing is kind of a naked chart. I'm not looking at the naked chart. I'm looking at the actual strategy on my own trading box. So just in case you're wondering. So that's it. So I'm starting today, and tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the rest of the week, I'm going to be looking at it real time, and it's kind of exciting. I'm I'm interested in seeing what it can do, and during different times of day. So early London, the midday London, early New York, midday New York. How often does it trigger, and when it does, how well does it do? That sort of thing. And then I'll switch around. I'm not just going to be looking at a 5 minute. I'll change it around to a 15, and I might do some 30-minute or 1 hour, but usually 5, 15, and then I'll do some range charts as well, just because I'm more interested in shorter term trades anyway. So, and hopefully you guys are. But so that's what I'll be checking out this week, real time. Now, if it gets to a point where I start to see some live trades happening that are working out, then I'm going to want to talk to this guy. And I told him, I said, if it works, I want to ask you some questions, live. I'll do a little interview with him. I'll get him on Skype, and we can chat. And if you guys have any questions as well, and I know it might be hard to have any questions looking at a blank chart, but I know I have some. So if you have any, then by all means, post on the comment box below, and I'll throw those in if it gets to the point where I get to interview the guy. And if that's the case, great. Then that means we're moving on to step 5, and step 5 is where I'll actually put some live trades on with some real money, and that's the end goal. That's what everybody wants. That's what we all want, is to get a strategy that we can rely on and feel comfortable with, and so that's where we are. We're on step 3, and hopefully we get to step 4 and 5, and how long it'll take will, it all depends on how often the trades are triggered and that kind of thing. So anyways, I just wanted to give you that kind of update on where I am with this, because I know guys were asking about some other strategies and stuff, and that's cool. So that's where it is. That's where we are, step 3, and hopefully things progress from here, and if not, that's okay too. It is what it is. So that's it, guys. We will talk to you in another video soon, I'm sure. Take it easy.